When you really think about it, I don't know how this is even a conversation. Genuinely, I don't know how it even got to the convo of them being around the same. Or that our Spider-Man having some level of struggle. Would Superman be able to survive in Gotham? By Mo Schmo. Let's get into it. 25k subs is the goal. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get it. I'll tell you right now, Spider-Man is clearing Gotham by the night end. By the end of the night.
What happened to you?
Do not go there.
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad.
Peter, I'm warning you, man. They have this guy. He's like a clown.
You're scared of a clown? What are you, 5?
No, Peter. He's a homicidal maniac.
So are you. Okay. Can he fly?
No.
Is he super strong?
No.
Does he have any powers at all?
Well, no, but my point is, if I can't make it out there, you definitely can't.
Right.
Spider-Man has to be the most glazed character behind Batman, and honestly, he deserves the praise more.
I think, who do you think is the most glazed character of all time? I think it's by far Spider-Man. I see more, actually, Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Batman, I think, are by far the two most glazed characters of all time. By both their companies and the fans. I think it's Batman. I think Batman's the most glazed. I think Batman's more, I was going to say Spider-Man by far, but I think Batman low-key is more glazed, bro. I kind of changed my answer. I think Batman's more glazed, for sure.
While Bruce has plot armor for days, like when he was able to knock the wind out of Wonder Woman, insane.
Didn't even know he did
Peter
that.
has actual powers, so most of the time I'm not complaining when he pops off. While Spider-Man fans can be even more obnoxious than Punisher fans, it doesn't change the fact that they are on completely two different levels. I mean, here you have Frank barely making a dent when Peter actually tries. He says, "I don't want to hurt you. Who do you think you are?" Now, I'll try to avoid too many crossover or event books because you guys know how insane the power-ups get to make the story work. T'Challa, how the fuck are you dogging Silver Surfer right here? I'm just joking. The context actually makes a lot of sense here. When you read
Spider-Man glazed by the companies, they made him a cuck. I meant more so like, Spider-Man just gets so much more projects, so much more love. But like, in terms of Marvel, I think it's kind of more evened out now. But, like, it's still Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man's still the only one that gets solo games by himself. He has, like, a whole game library. Spider-Man still gets his entire show line by himself. Not even, like, Hulk. When is the last time Hulk had a show? I can name 5 Spider-Man shows within the last, like, 7 years. There's even there's Spider-Man show on Disney Junior. There's the new one that came out on Disney Plus. There's one that came out on Disney XD. There's... is there another Spider-Man show? Is there another Spider-Man show? Or is that the only 3? And then who would you say is second in Marvel? Hulk? Name me one Hulk show within the last 10 years. There's none. One. Name me one Hulk game within the last 10 years. 0. Zilch. Nada. Like, Spider-Man gets way more glazed compared to everybody else. Movies-wise, there's not that huge of a gap no more. Even though there still is, it's not as huge because like the MCU is so popular. The glaze gap is just absurd. You know what I'm saying? I know we talked about this before. If like you switch Spider-Man and Batman, so I'm gonna skip his intro. I'm gonna get into like if he talks about like he talks about like absolute Batman. I think even with absolute Batman, Spider-Man should be able to survive rather easily. I think Spider-Man should be able to survive, bro.
When looking at the new Absolute run, it's a lot more charitable to Bane. He is a menace, truly the most terrifying villain we've seen so far in the comics. That might change with Absolute Joker, however. Earlier in the story, Batman struggles quite a bit fighting Bane the first time around, however, he did not fuck around the second time. Now, if you're one of the 3 people who hasn't read Absolute Batman yet, I'll give you a refresher. However, you should read it though, it's a fun time. Scott Snyder always knows how to hype up the audience every issue, but when Batman fights Bane the first time around, he had no clue what he was getting into, went in alone, and got embarrassed. I'd rather Bane just break his back.
Is embarrassed even the right word? Like, in all seriousness, is embarrassed even the right word? Embarrassed isn't even the right word, bro. Spider-Man can barely stand Rhino and Tombstone. I don't think you realize how cracked Spider-Man villains are, bro. I don't think so. If you're saying that, I don't think you know that. And he handles Tombstone too. Like, I know what you're talking about. He barely handle. Like, even like, okay, how do I describe some of Spider-Man's villains? Because I think there is a logical. People are not understanding Spider-Man villains. Electro literally controls electricity. I know Spider-Man with the man with the superpowers is able to handle him and make him look like a joke, Electro is probably clearing 90% of niggas though. You telling me Batman's gonna beat Electro? I don't think he is. Vulture, bulletproof suit, is able to fly, all that stuff. He was putting hands up on Spider-Man with all of his tech. I don't think Batman could probably beat him with smarts, but I don't think he's just gonna beat him. With no prep, without prep time, Batman has nothing. Yeah, no prep time with any of these. Batman's losing every single matchup. Besides maybe Doc Ock. Doc Ock, he might win. Doc Ock, he'd win. Green Goblin, he might be able to get ahead of a Green Goblin got super strength, so I don't even know about that. Sandman, he's not murking. Sandman can create sandstorms that can fill up the entirety of New York. The Lizard is the Lizard as strong as Killer Croc? I don't know which. I think Killer Croc just sounds tougher. He could probably handle Killer Croc. Don't know if he's handling Mysterio. But knowing Batman with his Tibetan monk techniques, I think he might be able to. The Rhino got bulletproof suit, strong as hell. He's basically Bane, but in a suit. And this is the Chameleon. It's not Chameleon. I don't know who this is. It's like another Green Goblin. But Classic Man D made a video about it, bro. Right here. It is recent.
Well, folks, it's about that time. I got tagged.
Watch this, bro.
It says, which Spider-Man villain is the easiest to defeat in this picture? I feel like we all can agree that both Carnage and Venom are both maxed out hard mode. Boy, every time Carnage shows up, he turns into damn near a god.
Are you telling me that Batman is going to naturally beat Venom and Carnage? I don't think so. If he knows about the bells, he will. But if you just put them on the street, tell them to fight, Batman's losing that fight, bro. Batman gonna lose that fight.
Eddie's damn sure God, so these aren't an option. Last time we saw Spot, he obtained godlike power, so nope. Electro
not beating the Spot. Batman's not beating the Spot.
Is a man that is made up of, can absorb and harness pure electricity. No more needs to be said.
Electro is not getting whooped by 90% of people.
Sandman is literally just a walking beach. There's nothing easy about this. He can turn into a sandstorm that can cover the entire city. Why is all of Spider-Man's villains so busted? He climbs walls and shoots webs.
Literally. Name me 5 Batman villains that are on this level. I'm not even finished the video. Scarecrow. Bane, but Spider-Man's whooping Bane. So we got Scarecrow. Poison Ivy's up there. That's it. Clayface. Do you want to count Clayface? If Spider-Man can handle Sandman, I think he can handle Clayface. Clayface is strong though. I'm not even trying to hate. But if he could handle Sandman, I think he can handle Clayface, bro. In all seriousness. Solomon Grundy, I don't know he's immortal, so we gotta bring up Solomon Grundy up in here, bro. Like, I hope y'all realize. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not close. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's close. Like, I want to see what he has to say. And I told y'all in the beginning, I might skip through this video, like skip around here and there. I don't even know, like, do I need 17 minutes for him to tell me it's not close? It's not. It's not. Spider-Man goes through worse already. It's not close, bro. Dude, I know it's like, it's mad fun to like speculate, like, oh, switch Batman and Spider-Man. It's not close, bro. At all. Batman, if he had prep time, sure, he could handle New York too. But Spider-Man with no prep time could handle it the same night. Batman can't do that. Batman cannot do that, bro. Absolute Batman villains are your basic Spider-Man villains. And we look at Ultimate Goblin. We don't know much about we don't know too many Ultimate or Absolute villains yet, though. We only really have good information on Absolute Bane, and I still think Spider-Man has the edge on him. All seriousness. Still think he has the edge over Absolute Bane. We have to see Joker, but I still think he'd probably beat the Joker too. Spider-Man just has too many cracked villains. I don't think anyone that Batman has to go up against will overscale what Spider-Man has already been through. Because Absolute Joker, I could just bring up Ultimate Green Goblin. Like, I'm assuming they'll probably be around the same strength. Genuinely not close. It's real life not close, bro. I'd even finish the video.
To where you can't even trust your own senses and you don't even know what's real or not. You have an armored, bulletproof Scorpion Man with terrible neurotoxin. A jet-propelled armored Birdman. Lizard Man that can regenerate and could potentially get worse. Boy, I would have said Kraven if the best version of him didn't take out most of Spider-Man's Sinister Six. Quite honestly, the only better option.
Even Kraven Even Craven's like that, bro. Even Craven's like that. Like, come on, bro.
The second and most likely final battle goes like this. So Batman baits Bane into a final battle between them in the middle of a stadium, but he low-key fights dirty in every way he can. He starts by crushing him under a building, which he survives.
Literally,
from.
I said this
Then
the moment we watched it. I thought we was getting a one-on-one fade. Batman pulled every single dirty trick in the book. Every single one in the
uses
book.
the Batmobile to stab him, still he bounces back. And after Bruce tries to make a dent in him, he's cornered, and my boy, honestly my favorite of his friends, Killer Croc, buys him some time. He downs Bane for a second, goading him this entire time to abuse his venom, and after Batman somehow tanks these blows that are crushing the ground, tells Catwoman to take the shot, and she says, "I got you, baby." Lord, I wish mainland Selena was like her. She would never stand Batman up at the altar. Bane taking too much venom pretty much ends the battle.
Oh me, I need that. I need that. See, comic historian ain't say that, bro. Ain't say that line. I got you, bae. Yeah, I need that, bro.
His body turns into this. He gets dumped into the Gotham River, and then this is all that remains of him. Now Bruce only really wins here with the power of teamwork and the baddest bitch in Gotham. Could Peter raise up Selena and get her help to beat this freak of nature? Maybe. Don't underestimate him because he's nerdy. But more importantly is how Batman uses Bane's venom against him. Now I will say Batman and Spider-Man are both smart characters, and if you've seen my old video titled Batman Shouldn't Be the Best at Everything, you'll know I think Batman is good at chemistry and other sciences, but nowhere near the best. It makes a world feel more real and also fair when you can only spec into one stat at max capacity.
Dude, it's crazy because he is right on that. I feel the same. I don't think every single character needs to be so smart. Why is every single superhero the smartest person on the planet? You can only have so many smart people. Tony Stark being smart makes sense. Reed Richards being smart makes sense. Why does Spider-Man have to be that smart though? I get Peter Parker's a nerd, but like again, I don't like how he made the web. I am someone who I personally don't like the web shooters because if he's smart to make the web shooters, you tell me Tony Stark can make them too. You tell me Reed Richards can have them too. What's stopping Tony Stark from mass producing web shooters? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's, I think knowledge is so replaceable, and especially the comic verse, knowledge is so replaceable. It don't make people that special. Like I like it relegated to a few people, but like I don't think everybody should have that like super intelligence. I forget, there was a character that I heard that people said was mad smart in the comics. I was like, that doesn't even sound right. It might have been Black Panther. There was somebody that it didn't even fit, and they're like, no, he's like super smart. It's like, why? I forget who it was, bro. I might be tripping. I'm saying Black Panther. I might be wrong. It was somebody that it didn't make sense for him to be as smart as he was. Let me see. It was somebody, though. It was somebody that was like, this don't even make sense. Yeah, Black Panther is allegedly top 5 smartest people on Earth, according to Marvel. Yeah, like that. Like, that's just, like, crazy, bro. Like, I get you're the leader of your country, so you do have to be smart, obviously. But top 5? Like, Shuri, it makes sense, bro. But top 5? T'Challa? Top 5? Come on, bro. Don't even make sense. Don't even make sense, bro. Don't even make sense. Yeah, T'Challa top 10 is insane, bro. Bruce Banner's also another super smart person. There's too many smart people. I'm sorry. There's too many smart people. There's way too many smart people, man. I'm sorry. You want them to be dumb? Dude, I don't want them to be dumb, but like, bro, I don't need them to be like, you do not, like, there's too many people on the top echelon. It's like, you guys can all do what y'all want. Y'all can all do the same thing.
One stat should always be being a detective, and then martial arts second. Peter, however, created his own web fluid that is core to his character, so in my mind, he should be able to do advanced chemistry. Advanced enough to work with Bane's venom and perhaps counteract it. I think Batman is the more tactical person who would have an easier time.
Nah, facts. Black Panther being one of the smartest in the Marvel is especially unneeded because he's already has Shuri who could do all the smart stuff for him. I agree. You could say the same for Reed Richards and Sue Storm, but I think they were both Were they not? Did they not both meet in like college or something? Like they were both already doing smart stuff beforehand, which I guess makes sense.
I'm
But
setting up the trap for Bane, but if Spider-Man had to fight Bane, I strongly feel like he could develop an antidote to his venom. For an example of his chemistry know-how and how long it's been essential to his character, let's look at this comic. We're going back in the day to the 80s, where Peter is fighting against this forgotten villain by the name of Goldbug. He does exactly what you think he does, turns people into gold. He honestly reminds me a lot of Ted Core and Blue Beetle. He even has a bug-shaped ship. Now, Peter's university borrows some gold because he's doing some experiments. His research paper was so impressive that they gave him hundreds of thousands of dollars of gold. Of course, Goldbug needs that. After he puts all these people in a gold cocoon and leaves in his ship, Peter incredibly quickly develops a chemical to not only melt through the gold, but to leave the human skin unharmed. I'm not smart enough of a person to know how impressive that truly is, but it definitely leads me to believe that he could reverse engineer a steroid. While Spider-Man definitely has the science skills to beat Bane, when it comes to the physical battle, Peter would most likely be able to escape Arkham as he's fought Venom countless times, and Venom is also this incredibly strong regenerative villain. Would he be able to beat Bane on pure strength? I don't know, but I do think he's smart enough to realize the glowy green juice is giving him his powers and how to handle that. Moreover, Bane and the scientists he was working with were salivating at the idea of Bruce becoming his replacement. If he saw Peter, he'd lose his mind.
I'm telling you, bro.
This is most likely a 50-50 fight in the absolute universe, and in the main one, it's a wash. However, the more difficult fight for Peter is the one you expected, that is Joker, with all his ridiculous plot armor. No matter how you feel about Joker, he doesn't lose much, at least for long. It's actually illegal to make him lose a fight without some aura farming moments. Joker
I thought it was,
helicopter
bro, when he
crash
said illegal, I thought he was gonna pull y'all know like the Dom Toretto like thing that he has in like his contract where he can't lose. I thought he was gonna say something like that. I was like, there's no way.
Occurred less than a year later. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Dude has some insane plot armor. Even though he shouldn't be able to stand a chance against Peter, if they were ever to cross over, you know how that would go. However, I want to go over a few things with Joker. His chemistry skills and Joker gas, his durability and strength, and probably the most obnoxious development in recent times, his genius little intellect. I've spoken about this a few times, but it really does represent everything wrong with modern Joker. During the whole R&R bullshit with Failsafe and Batman's mentor, we get into issue 146 of Batman 2016, where the most egregious level of Joker wank was put into an event designed to reinforce the idea that Joker is as intelligent, if not more intelligent, than Batman. Now, I always thought Joker was much dumber than Batman, just chaotic in nature. Like in my mind, it's easier to destroy something than to create it or even protect it. Whereas Joker doesn't need much intellect to improvise dangerous and cruel pranks for his.
Like Joker's not stupid, but he's a chaotic genius. I'd call him that. Like especially if you base it on, we talked about this on the blank tier list, Blank Boy Codename Super tier list we did the other day. Especially if you consider his plans and his chaoticness. Like he's a chaotic genius. His plans seem unplanned, but they're planned, and that's what makes him smart. Like he is so unorthodox. Even though you're smart, he's gonna beat you. That's what makes Joker smart, even though he's not conventionally smart. He should not just be naturally smarter than Batman, though. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. I'm letting him keep talking. That is so crazy.
Batman has to have considerably higher intellect to not only figure out what he's doing, but how to stop it, and more importantly, stop it without any casualties. However, as the stakes keep getting higher and higher, we need to power scale Joker. So it starts by recapping the history as we know it for Joker. How he came across some of Batman's contingency plans, and more importantly, how he activated Failsafe. Joker is able to create a chemical so advanced that it tricks Batman, the world's greatest detective, into thinking he killed someone. While I dislike making Joker the super genius character, I do have to say his chemistry skills have been a pretty consistent thing with him because of his iconic Joker gas.
Yeah.
I always figured he'd have to know how to do a few things around the lab to be able to create so much of it. We could even see panels where he's described to be able to create the iconic gas just from common household cleaning agents. So while I think it's a little BS Joker can create a simulated death chemical, it's the least BS thing he's done in a while. Here comes the worst line here. Penguin was afraid Joker would kill him, but then the narration says this: Joker, despite his murderous tendencies, likes his playthings to live. If he didn't, we'd all be dead. insane levels of jerking. I mean, unruly levels of dick riding. He was supposed to be the funny guy, and now he's God. They lay it on so thick with the next line saying, "The two of you are the most dangerous men on the planet. Everyone lives because you simply haven't decided to kill them." Now, Batwink is one thing, but he at least spent years training with the best of the best. Joker just falls into a vat of acid and transforms into this Gary suit. Now that I've spoken about the chemistry know-how and intellect,
that is Glaze. That is Glaze.
Joker, his superhuman and insane durability. Bruce, in my mind at least, takes supplements, steroids, drugs, and whatever training to keep his body in tip-top shape. And even then, we can see all of his scars and damage. Joker can tank literally any beating from any member of the Bat family, and even though he is scrawnier, weaker, and should be more fragile than any regular goon, he somehow survives 10 times longer than them.
That is so true. Oh my goodness, bro. What Arkham game is it where Batman is just hitting him with left rights in the middle of... There's a boss fight with it, and there's the end of a certain game. I forget what game. It's like you're literally just, Origins. You are throwing just straight haymakers at Joker. Boom, 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 boom. I'm talking straight to the head, and he somehow lives it. It's like, bro, Joker, when it comes to durability, he gets wanked to no end. But it reminds me of, if y'all played Sonic 1, there's like a little thing where when you beat the boss, Eggman runs away from you. No matter how fast you run away from Eggman, how fast you run after Eggman, he's programmed to run faster than you. That's how I feel like it is with Joker. No matter how bad you beat him down, he's programmed to not die. So it's like the writers are not gonna ever kill him. So no matter how hard of the attack is thrown at him, he'll survive. Like, Superman can punch him across the planet, he'll still live because they want Joker to stay alive unless the story deems him to die. Like how with Injustice they wanted him to die. I think it's the same thing. I think it's the low-key the same correlation, bro. Not gonna lie.
This is why I really like the line in Joker's Five-Way Revenge, where after Batman tries to fight the Joker, he goes like, "You'll get no battle from me. I may be insane, but I'm not crazy." What a good joke, and honestly the right sentiment. However, I think Spider-Man should be able to easily beat the fuck out of Joker since Batman can. It's just a matter of how much plot armor he has to overcome. In the ideal world, This is a wash. It's a comic where Joker and Peter fight for the punchline. At the end, Joker is grumpy, everyone likes Peter's jokes more, and he gets webbed up. The most similar villain to Joker is Goblin probably, but Goblin has actual powers.
Literally.
People say Joker has
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's not even fair. Like, when you really think about it, I don't know how this is even a conversation. Genuinely, I don't even know how this is even a conversation. I don't know how it even got to the convo of them being around the same. Or Spider-Man having some level of struggle. Do people talk about this? Yeah, this is greater evil like poverty. Spider-Man faces greater evil like poverty. That is so true. So yeah, Clayface is a lot closer to Sandman than Venom. True street tier gatekeeper. Guys with powers against people who loses to powerless guy. Literally, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think like it's not even close, bruh. It's genuinely not close. You talk about any other villains here? Slade, I'm seeing Mysterio, all that. But yeah, dude, it's not close. Spider-Man's whooping him, bro. Spider-Man's giving belts. Like the most genuine belts you will ever see.
Enhanced durability from the acid, but Goblin is definitely tougher. I'll tell you who's tougher than both of them, however. It's DC's favorite island owner, Slade Wilson. I know, Slade is not a Batman rogue. He really shouldn't even be in Gotham. It's just that I spoke about him in the last video and I have him top of mind. More importantly, I'm thinking about doing a Taskmaster video, and these guys are relatively similar in their design. Only Taskmaster is actually pretty chill sometimes. I won't pretend that Slade's enhancements are able to match Spider-Man's powers. It does put him above Taskmaster in the physical arena, whereas Taskmaster is better at fighting because of his copycat power. I do want to quickly set the bar of how busted Deathstroke is sometimes. He's been able to dog the fuck out of Batman. His reaction speed somehow lets him be able to hit a speedster, and most surprisingly, he's been able to draw blood from a Kryptonian like.
Bro, this is what we were talking about with the speedster stuff. That shouldn't happen. I'm sorry. That shouldn't happen. No, that shouldn't happen, bro. That shouldn't happen. That should not happen.
Somehow lets him be able to hit a speedster, and most surprisingly, he's been able to draw blood from a Kryptonian like being, Con Keenan. So he's not a pushover at all. When it comes to a 1v1 between the two, Spider-Man does have a hard time here and there with highly skilled fighters. Most people think his spider sense will fill in the gaps for him, but it's been shown to not work as well as you'd think. While a spider sense will always try to help him in battle, if someone else like Deathstroke can also react incredibly fast, it's a lot more even than you'd think. In Giant Size Spider-Man issue 2, we can see Peter fighting these martial arts goons, and he beats them but they get a few hits in. Then we cut to Shang-Chi fighting these Spider-Man branded goons, and of course he doesn't get hit. This is the problem with enemies who can outskill you and dodge your attacks. It's that even if you're stronger, faster, more durable than them, if they don't get hit, they can take all the time in the world to beat you. Some plot stuff happens, it doesn't matter, but Spider-Man and Shang-Chi finally fight. Shang-Chi gets the first hit, but Spider-Man recovers quicker than he expected and kicks him in the head. Then Peter gets tossed around by his ankles and slammed into this wall. The next panel has him dazed and confused. Shang-Chi tells Peter to surrender, and Spider-Man of course says no. Then we get a great back and forth. Shang-Chi strikes the wall, making this huge
I would love to see this in the MCU.
and Spider-Man is like, that could have been my chest, man. Whacks him over the head and then misses the next one, letting Shang-Chi do another judo-like move. Now they both keep going like this for a while, back and forth, dodging and throwing each other. Peter webs him up and Shang-Chi breaks out of it. Peter avoids the fight as he figures out that they've been tricked. Then he purposely stands in the way of Shang-Chi's kick, hoping he'd surrender, and he does. Now this comic was before a lot of the power scaling stuff Shang-Chi had, so he was maybe peak human, I'd say, comparable to modern Deathstroke, maybe even less powerful. But even then, Spider-Man says if that kick connected, they'd be scraping him off the walls. Even though Frank can't make a dent in Spidey, I think Slade might have better chances. For now, I put the odds closer to Peter winning, just because these days he has some pretty impressive tech, and if he brings anything outside of a standard web shooter.
That's the only one that Loki convinced me. I think Deathstroke, that's the only one that probably could beat him from the explanation alone. Not gonna lie. People find out outrageous, but people forget comic characters improve over time. Comics are like DBZ, but people treat it like it ain't comics. Comics are power fantasy characters. They are made for dreams and hopes and hope ideas. There is some logic, but when characters made to be OP, that's because their story is made to be out of this world. But the thing is with comics, if I'm getting the general gist of what you're saying, number one, comics just ain't the same as like shonen. That's shonen's point, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's shonen's point for real. Like, shonen's point is to have somebody bring it out the mud and like truly like grow truly grow their power. Like, there's not, how do I put this like fully into words? Because you're right, comic characters do grow, but there's a difference in how they grow, and I don't know how to put it to words. Like, I could use Superman versus Goku. Superman already starts damn near the strongest, and he does get stronger past that, but it's not as tangible as Goku going from literal nothing, bottom 5 power level, to becoming the guy Goku that he is. You know what I'm saying? And, like, shows like DBZ and Naruto and even One Piece at times, they put heavy emphasis on the training. I cannot name you a single time in everything I've seen. I can't name you a time I've seen Superman train. I've seen Batman train, but Batman is human strength. Batman is going to the gym like a human. That's not the same scaling up as like Naruto training in like that sage place that he was at, coming back with the frog transformation. That's different. Like, I feel like it's just much more different. And like, characters, when they're already OP, they stay OP in comics as opposed to anime. I can't name, besides like Saitama, I don't know how many characters you could name that started the series OP and stayed OP. Most don't. So it's just like completely different writing styles. I do have to wrap up late stream. I know there's like 5 minutes of this left. I can quickly try to get through this, so let me stop yapping. Let's get through this.
It's wraps. Now, we've spoken about his strength, durability, intellect, and reflexes. I want to talk a bit more about his psyche. How would Spider-Man fare against fear gas? Scarecrow is a villain people underestimate because, truthfully, he's been made a little bit obsolete. Scarecrow has fear gas, okay, we have Joker gas.
Really,
Scarecrow has these psychological mind games, so does Hugo Strange, and he does them a lot better. Scarecrow's fear gas, in my mind, should be made much stronger than Joker's, mainly because he doesn't have much outside of that. Now, if you've played the Arkham games, you know how obnoxious it must be to fight under the influence of it. However, Spider-Man fights against a similar kind of villain, Mysterio. While Mysterio doesn't poison you, he does confuse you with his illusions, in the same way Scarecrow's fear gas can make you see things that aren't really there, whether it be in the movie.
I do actually have to wrap up, but I don't know what else he'd bring up, but I know for certain. I know for certain Spider-Man's having no struggle. I know I spent most of this yapping, but I wanted to use the video more so as a background, as opposed to like actually, you know what I'm saying? But we have talked about this before on the channel, but Spider-Man would 100% survive. Shout out Moshmo, like, comment, subscribe on his vid as well as my own. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, but Spider-Man clearing by far. It's not close.